this is your chapter 5, okay, the 5th chapter. We have carboxylic acid, and then chapter 6 will be on amines, and the last one phenol. Before we start, I just want to make sure that all of you who still haven't submit the tutorial for heterocyclic compound, please do so, because I need that as evidence of you joining the online class, okay? So that will be counted as your what you call attendance. And next week, I will do a test on Google Classroom. Okay, the details I will share with Faris later, but the topic will be on chapter 1 and chapter 2, which is electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction, and also polynuclear aromatic compound. It will be 1 hour, okay. On the Google Classroom, I will post the question over there, and you can do it on a piece of paper, snap a picture, upload it, or you can do in Microsoft Word and save the file and upload that Word file. Okay, either way works for me, but what you call that? So time given is 1 hour, so I will restrict the time for you to answer it in 1 hour. So if you miss out during that time, you cannot upload your answers anymore. So still, it is considered to be open book lah, since you are at home. But the time is limited to 1 hour. So if you, let's say I put it maybe around 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. So if you miss by 1 minute, you cannot submit the answers already. So please take note. Okay. Chapter 1 and chapter 2 only. Sorry. Okay, so we shall start with the lecture. So for carboxylic acid, I believe you have, this is not your first time hearing on this organic compound. This is a, I think baru nak join, sorry because I need to approve for you all to join. There are still 2 person. Okay, 1 more, 2 more. Okay, this is part of the functional groups. Okay, I believe you have learned this during nomenclature back in last semester in chapter 2. So the carboxylic acid must contain C double bond OOH. So we'll take a look at the learning outcome first. So at the end of this chapter, you should be able to define what is carboxylic acid and their properties, okay, and to understand what is the carboxylic ion, and also how to explain on the acidity. And we will see also the effect of substituents on acidity. So there are carboxylic acid that may contain other substituents like electron withdrawing group. So this will affect the acidity, whether it will increase or decrease the acidity. And we will see also the synthesis of carboxylic acid, how we can synthesize them, and also one of the reaction, which is nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction. Okay, and then the reactivity of carboxylic acid, and the last one will be the conversion of acid to its derivative. So bear in mind, there are four the carboxylic acid derivatives that you have to know, which is acyl chloride or acid chloride, okay, amide, esters, and also acid anhydride. So all of these, which is part saja, there are only four, you have to remember, and how you can convert carboxylic acid into one of these acid derivative. So we go to the introduction first. So this is the structure of carboxylic acid, the general structure. It must contain C double bond O, OH. Okay, this is the R group. R can be either alkyl or acyl, or aryl group. Okay, so the functional group of carboxylic acid consists of carbonyl, C double bond O, and also a hydroxy group. But both of these are bonded to the same carbon. So the C double bond OOH are considered as the functional group. Okay, so they are considered to be one functional group. So they are normally written, if you write without drawing the skeletal form or open structure, you will write it as COOH. That is the arrangement of the letters COOH. Okay, and the carboxyl group is the parent group of related compound, which we call as the acyl. Okay, the acyl compounds, and also carboxylic acid derivative. This part we will see later on in the chapter. So we take a look at the nomenclature first. Okay, how they are named and some of the physical properties. So based on IUPAC system, so the name you must add the word of oic acid. Okay, for example, here we have ethane. So let's say you have the second carbon is converted into carboxylic acid, C double bond OOH. So the name will be known as ethanoic acid. Okay, from ethane to ethanoic acid. So you just add OIC acid at the end of the longest chain. Okay, first you must check which carbon chain is the longest, and from there you just add the OIC acid at the end. Okay, another example like this one, the name is 4-methyl hexanoic acid. So why hexanoic acid? There are 6 carbon over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the longest chain. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you turn downward, there are only 5 carbons. So instead you go straight. So there are 6 carbon over here, hence we call it hexanoic acid. And the numbering must start and always start from the carbon of C double bond O. So this will always be carbon number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's why the methyl is at the fourth carbon. Okay, so you don't start your number from this one. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the number 1 carbon must always be from the C double bond OOH. Okay, then the second example is decanoic. So deca is 10 carbon. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 carbons. So instead of calling it decane, if it is an alkane, you call it as decane. But now it is already a carboxylic acid, so the name is being converted into decanoic acid. Okay, decanoic acid. And you also have common names. So common names are other names used beside IUPAC. Okay, and normally the carboxylic acid that has 1 up to 10 carbon, they have much more common names, okay, easy common names. Like if you take a look at the second example over here, ethanoic acid is the IUPAC name, but common name is also known as acetic acid, which I believe you have used this in the lab, especially during your experiment of aspirin synthesis. You use glacial acetic acid. So that is basically ethanoic acid. Or in your kitchen terpanggil cuka lah, okay, vinegar. So vinegar is actually ethanoic acid or acetic acid. Okay, but the common names or the historical name is based on Latin words. So all of that common names, it has other meanings in Latin language. Like for example, formic acid, the Latin name is N. So in ants, okay, dalam semut, it contains formic acid. So if you want to easily remember, just remember N, methanoic acid. So all ants contain methanoic acid. And then we have propionic acid. So this one is from first fat, butyric acid, and so on. Okay, so those are the common names of the first 10 carbon carboxylic acid. So these are the carboxylic acid derivative, okay, in which what you can do with carboxylic acid and convert it into some other organic compounds. Okay, the first one, which is known as acid chloride or acyl. Okay, sometimes you call it as acid, ACID, or acyl, ACYL. Okay, acyl chloride. So the naming, you just add YL chloride at the end of the original carboxylic acid name. For example, just now we have decanoic acid. You have to convert it. If it's become a acid chloride, then the name will be decanoyl chloride. Okay. The difference is normally in carboxylic acid you have C double bond O OH, but in acid chloride you have C double bond O Cl, chlorine. Okay. You are replacing the OH group with chlorine, Cl. And we have this anhydride. So anhydride, so the word hydride mean to contain water, and meaning no water. So basically anhydrous is the lack of one molecule of water. Okay, lack of satu water. So what happen is normally in acid anhydride is two of the same carboxylic acid combining together with the removal of one molecule of water. Okay, example like acetic acid anhydride, okay, which we don't use, but instead you use acetic acid, normal acetic acid, which is basically the same thing. Is if you put the acetic acid anhydride into water, it will dissociate to become acetic acid. Then the structure is, if you look at the structure, for example, this one is benzoic anhydride. You have this on this part, let's say you have C double bond O, okay, but on this part you have C double bond O. So this side it loses OH group, and for this side it loses one hydrogen. So one H plus and one OH minus, which will combine later on to form one molecule of water. Okay, so that is for anhydride. Then ester, this one I believe you have studied this since SPM lagi. Okay, SPM pun dah jumpa ester or esterification process, Fischer esterification. This is when you react carboxylic acid with alcohol. So if you have carboxylic acid with alcohol, it will form an ester, and the naming, for example, this one ethyl benzoate. So you add the ending of ATE at the end of the name instead of OIC acid. Okay, but the benzoate or the ATE must be added to this part, the one that contain C double bond OO. Okay, the name that is in front, for example, this one ethyl, is whatever that is attached to this oxygen. Okay, for example, like this one, we have C2, CH3. There are two carbons attached to this oxygen, so the naming will be put in front, ethyl. Okay, the benzoate is this, all of this. And you have this amide. Okay, amide. So amide, the difference is instead of having OH over here, it will be change or convert or substitute into a amino group. Okay, here you have NHCH3. So it could be NH2, the simplest one, or to NHR, or it can be NR2. R is alkyl group or aryl group. Okay. So the reaction we will see later. And the last one is nitrile. So this one is basically if you further convert the amide into nitrile. So yang ini the last part tak ada. Yang ini is you will learn in amine. Okay, chapter 7. Chapter 6, sorry. So carboxylic acid, okay, these are the properties. Okay, carboxylic acids are polar substance. Okay, why polar? Because it contains the hydroxy group OH. Okay, at that oxygen, there are two lone pair. That lone pair can form hydrogen bond with other hydrogen from the other molecules of carboxylic acid. And it can form hydrogen bond with each other and also water. Okay, please take note. Dia boleh form hydrogen bond with each other and also water. So high boiling points and low molecular weight carboxylic acids are soluble in water. So if the carbon chain length is getting longer, the solubility in water will be less because the carbon chain length will be the hydrophobic part, the part that hates water. Only the C double bond OOH is considered to be the hydrophilic. So if the hydrophobic part is longer, meaning if it's become longer, then the molecular weight will be higher. So that's why the solubility in water decrease. So this is carboxylate salts. So what we have here is if your carboxylic acid react with or combine with metal, for example like sodium or potassium, so it will be known as carboxylate salt. So the word salt, if you find any metal attached to that, will be known as salt, just like your sodium chloride and ACl. So that is still considered to be as a salt. Okay. So example, here we have CH3COO and A. This is known as sodium acetate. So why sodium? Because you have Na over here, which is sodium, Na. And the name, instead of from acetic acid, this is acetic acid or ethanoic acid, it will be converted into ATE, just like in ester. Okay, so the name can be sodium acetate or sodium ethanoate. So if you follow IUPAC, then it will be known as sodium ethanoate. So salt and anions of carboxylic acids are called as carboxylate. Okay, carboxylate salt. So if let's say it become CH3COOH, so when it dissociate into water, like all acid, semua acid, for example HCl, if it dissociate into water, it will become H plus and Cl minus kan. So sama juga untuk carboxylic acid, if it's dissociate in water, it will form for example, like this one, tannonic acid, it will form CH3COO minus plus 1H plus ion. So the hydrogen from the OH group will dissociate. Okay, dia akan terpisah daripada OH group. So that whole carboxylic acid tadi, it will be known as a carboxylate ion. Okay. So sodium and potassium salt of common salt of carboxylic acids are readily soluble in water. So most of the carboxylate salt can dissolve in water. So carboxylic acids are also considered as Bronsted acid. Okay, this one you must remember what is Bronsted acid. Bronsted acid is if they donate proton. Apa tu proton? You look at this one over here. When the hydrogen over here is removed, that is considered as proton donors. So H plus is considered as proton lah. Okay, proton ada satu, it is positively charged, 1 plus. So sama juga macam hydrogen, H plus. So they are known as proton donors. So you must remember carboxylic acid are Bronsted acid. Okay, there are 3 definition of acid. If you do not know, please take a look because this one is in pharmaceutical chemistry 1. I know some of you didn't take. Yeah, saya rasa semua tak ambil kan, semua dapat exemption. Okay, there are Lewis acid, Arrhenius acid. So in Lewis acid, the definition is if a compound can receive electron, it will be considered as a Lewis acid. But for Arrhenius, any substance that can dissociate into water to form H plus ion is considered an acid. But for Bronsted, the definition for an acid if they are proton donors. So ada 3 definition of acid and you must know how to differentiate them. But for, in this case, carboxylic acid, they are proton donors in which that the hydrogen will be removed from the structure. Okay, carboxylic acid ionize in aqueous solution, okay, and form more stable carboxylic ion. So these are known as carboxylic ion. Just now yang saya cakap tu, bila hydrogen dah keluar, so when the hydrogen is being removed out, it will become this carboxylic ion. So this carboxylic ion is stable. Why? Due to the resonance structure. As you can see over here, you have this double bond. Okay, once the structure have a double bond, it can form resonance. Okay, so if you still remember the definition of resonance, movement of electron through a pi bond. So if you see any pi bond in a compound, high chances that the structure has resonance. So the negative charge of the carboxylic ion is stabilized by the resonance and it is evenly distributed over both the oxygen atoms due to the delocalization of pi electrons. Next, we will go to the acidity of carboxylic acid. Okay, so all carboxylic acid are considered as weak acid, acid lemah. Okay, like your cuka lah. Okay, tannonic acid, it is considered to be weak acid. Kena kat tangan pun still tak ada what you call that, it's not corrosive enough, not like HCl or phosphoric acid. Yang itu if it got splash onto your hand, it will cause chemical burn or acid burn. But carboxylic acid, most of them are weak acid. So most unsubstituted carboxylic acid will have pKa value of 4.5. So untuk acid, the pKa value, the lower the pKa, higher acidity. Okay, lower pKa, higher acidity. So 4.5 is still considered to be not that high. Okay, 4 to 5. pKa of water is 16. So you take a look over there. Water is neutral. So it's 16. So there is still a difference. So normally all those strong acid, the pKa value is around 1 or less than 1. Or it could be 0.5 or 0.05, something like that. Okay. So the relative acidities means that the C double bond OH can react readily with sodium hydroxide and also sodium bicarbonate to form soluble sodium carboxylate salt. Okay, so what it means here, due to this acidity, even though it is a weak acid, it can still have this acid-base reaction. So ni sodium hydroxide is strong base, so it can react with a strong base. So weak acid, strong base, considered to be as neutralization reaction. And also, it can react with sodium bicarbonate. Okay, this is one of the tests in which we can use to differentiate between carboxylic acid and phenol, because later in the last chapter, phenol is also considered to be acidic, but phenol can only react with sodium hydroxide but not sodium bicarbonate. Okay, only carboxylic acid can react with both. But phenol, it can only react with sodium hydroxide. For sodium bicarbonate, no reaction. So these are the reaction scheme or reaction pathway. So the first one is you have benzoic acid as an example, insoluble in water. Okay, even though it has this OH group over here, it is still insoluble in water due to the high hydrophobic chain, which is this benzene. Okay, benzene is not polar. Ingat lagi tak? Benzene is not polar. So due to this hydrophobic part of the carboxylic acid, benzoic acid is insoluble in water. So it can react with sodium hydroxide to form the sodium benzoate. Same as well for this one, it react with sodium bicarbonate. But this will form another byproduct, which is carbon hydroxide. Okay, this one is phenol. So phenol with sodium bicarbonate, no reaction. So this is a useful differentiation test. So okay, for the effect of substituents for the acidity, this will depends on the type of substituents attached to the carboxylic acid. So example, if you have EWG, electron withdrawing group, attached to the alpha carbon. So now you must remember what is alpha carbon. So alpha carbon is, kita tunjuk slide ini ya. Okay, alpha carbon will be the carbon that is attached to the functional group. So your functional group is C double bond OOH. Okay, this carbon over here is not your alpha carbon. So the alpha carbon is the carbon next to it, which is on the R group. So yang ini R lah. Okay, but for example like this one, okay, benzoic acid, the alpha carbon will be this carbon from the benzene ring. Okay, not this carbon that contains C double bond OH. This is the functional group. It is still considered as the functional group. So if you have any electron withdrawing group like nitro, halogen, or cyano group, or hydroxy group attached to the alpha carbon, it will increase the acidity. So acidity will be increased. How? By increasing the dispersal of negative charge in the carboxylic ion and stabilize it. So what does it mean by electron withdrawing group? It will withdraw electron. So dia akan tarik electron from the C double bond OO. So instead, the electron will be fully dispersed, okay, through whole of the carboxylic acid structure instead of terkumpul saja dekat C double bond OO ni. Okay. So this is an example. You have normal acetic acid and trichloroacetic acid. Yang gambar kat atas yang di hijau apa semua tu, that is the molecular simulation or to show the electron density. This is done by doing computational chemistry simulation. Okay, by using software, we can predict the electron density for a particular compound. So in this case, you look, kalau warna merah tu maksudnya higher electron density. So like normal acetic acid, the electron is focusing more on these two oxygen. But for this one, trichloroacetic acid, you have 3 chlorine attached to the alpha carbon. Okay, you look at the electron density has become lesser. So warna dia dah jadi orange sikit. It's not red. So that means the electron has been shared to the, what you call, 3 chlorine atoms over here. Okay. And the acid strengthening effect decreases as the distance between the electron withdrawing group and the carbonyl group increases. Apa maksud ni? So if you look at this structure, so the first one, you have this chlorine attached to the alpha carbon. Okay, so this one have the highest acid strength, pKa 2.83. Okay, remember pKa, the lower the value, higher acidity. pKa high value, that means acid strength is low. So then the next structure, you see that this chlorine is further away from this COH. So instead of located at the alpha carbon, it is now located at the beta. So this is alpha, beta carbon. Okay, which is further away from the COH. So the third one, this chlorine is located 3 carbons away, 1, 2, 3 daripada COH. So it means that even though the electron withdrawing group can increase the acidity of your carboxylic acid, but the position or the distance also you have to take into account, because if it's located further away from the COOH, then the effect will not be quite as strong as if it's located at the alpha carbon. Okay, see the last one, we have normal butanoic acid, and this one if you add chlorine on the last carbon, so the difference is very minimal. You have pKa 4.52 and this one pKa 4.82, still considered as weak acid. But the first example, the chlorine is attached at alpha carbon. See the acidity increase almost double. Okay. Then preparation. So ini synthesis, how carboxylic acid can be synthesized. So there are several methods. If I'm not mistaken, there are seven methods in which that carboxylic acid can be synthesized. The first example is by using alkene as your starting material. Okay, oxidation of alkene, or the first one, particularly by using potassium permanganate, also known as hydroxylation of alkene. Okay, another specific name. So these are all considered oxidation, but for this particular reagent, we call it as hydroxylation of alkene. HYDROXYLATION, hydroxylation. The second one, is ozonolysis. So yang ini what you have learned in, I think both of these you have learned in addition reaction chapter 6, okay, pharmaceutical chemistry 2. Okay, ozonolysis, you will end up with two types of carboxylic acid, okay, depending on this R groups. If it's the same, if both R are the same, then you have 2 mole of the same carboxylic acid lah. But if these two R are different, then you are going to end up with 2 different carboxylic acid. Then using alcohol and also aldehyde, oxidation of aldehyde and alcohol. Okay, the first one is aldehyde. Okay, this reagent, you can use silver oxide, Ag is silver oxide, or silver diamino ion. This plus dekat sini is actually a charge. Okay, dia dekat atas, bukan tambah. The plus sign is supposed to be up here, plus. Silver diamino ion, because these two are considered as a complex. Okay, a metal complex. So silver diamino ion, okay, to form a carboxylic acid, or this one, which is the same like in alkene, hydroxylation. And the last one is by using Jones oxidation. So this whole method, okay, you can either use aldehyde or primary alcohol. This reaction is known as Jones oxidation. Jones is the name of a person. Okay. Basically, this is the Jones reagent, which can be prepared by using chromium oxide and also mixing it with sulfuric acid, okay, to form this Jones reagent. Or also known as chromic acid, this one. Next, the third is oxidation of alkyl benzene. So alkyl benzene, so still using potassium permanganate. Okay, potassium permanganate is a very strong oxidizing agent. Okay, hence it is widely used. For this one, the alkene or the alkyl part will be converted into carboxylic acid. But if you want to cleave like this one, oxidation of benzene ring, but this is actually ozonolysis. So if you see O3 over here, oxygen 3, that means the reaction is ozonolysis. So for these two, different reagent can be used. This one is oxidation of methyl ketone. Okay, so for ketone, tadi aldehyde, this one is methyl ketone. The reagent is by having halogen, X2, okay, fluorine ke, iodine, bromine or chlorine, sodium hydroxide in acidic medium. So hence you will get your carboxylic acid and trihalide. Okay, alkyl trihalide. Then this one, number 6, is hydrolysis of cyanohydrins and other nitriles. So first, what you have to do is to have this what you call ketone react with a hydrogen cyanide, okay, this one, to form this cyanohydrin. So this is the cyanohydrin. Kenapa cyanohydrin? Because you have these cyano groups and also OH. So if you still remember in addition reaction, if you mix halogen in water, it will form halohydrin. Sama juga, halohydrin ada halogen and also OH group. This one is known as cyanohydrins. So from these cyanohydrins, it will be hydrolyzed to form your C double bond OH. So the carboxylic acid lah. This one is example. First, the formation of this cyanohydrin, cyano group, hydrin. And the last one is by carbonation using of Grignard reagent. Sorry, the Grignard reagent is being carbonized by using carbon dioxide. So first you must prepare your Grignard reagent. Untuk yang dah lupa tu, Grignard reagent is prepared by having alkyl halide. Okay, for example, here you have RCl, mix it with magnesium metal in THF, or this one is ether. Okay, ethyl ether. So then you will get your Grignard reagents, this one, and then only you can have your carbonation, which is by supplying carbon dioxide to your Grignard reagent. So it will be converted into this intermediate first. Okay, this intermediate of magnesium carboxylate structure. Then only you will remove this MgCl, okay, replacing it by one of the hydrogen to this. Then only you will get your carboxylic acid. Okay, the rest are, these two are the example. Okay, the R group can be alkyl or it can be aryl group. Okay, it works for chlorine. This one's using bromine as example. Okay, up until now, ada soalan? Okay, you can type in the chat if you have any question before we proceed. Okay, I give you 1 minute for that. Ada soalan? Semua datang ke hari ni? 18. Okay, right? Satu, dua, tiga, empat, lima, 14, 15, 16, 17. Siapa tak tahu? Aziz. Aziz tak ada. Tak ada nama dia ni.
Ada, saya ada.
Ada? Oh.
Ada?
Oh, ni nama awak. Nama lain pula. Ronda Rayus. Orang tak tahu. Awak ada 18 kan?
Itu.
So, nanti make sure yang tak datang tu pergi kat Padlet tu. Di situ ada slide juga in which you can see. So if there are no questions, we proceed to the reaction. So untuk carboxylic acid, it undergoes a different reaction. Okay, you look at this. The name of the reaction is nucleophilic addition elimination reaction. Okay, unlike for normal other carbonyl compound like aldehyde and ketone, they undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction, like what you have learned in unit 8 in pharmaceutical chemistry 2, the last chapter. Yang itu semua untuk aldehyde and ketone, it undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction. Okay, but for what you call carboxylic acid, there is another part which is elimination. So it adds and also eliminates in the same reaction. And this happens at the acyl carbon. So before we begin, we must know what is the acyl carbon. The acyl carbon is this C double bond O. So this C double bond O, this is known as the acyl carbon. The C yang carbon ni yang attach dengan oxygen, double bond O with oxygen, this is known as the acyl carbon. And you also have this other terms which we call as acyl group. So acyl group is this C double bond O with one of the R, dengan satu R. So these are known as an acyl group. So acyl carbon is the carbon that is attached to the oxygen, double bond the oxygen, and acyl group, this whole thing will be known as an acyl group. Okay. So recall that aldehydes and ketone undergo nucleophilic addition to the carbon-oxygen double bond. So ini untuk aldehyde and ketone. Okay, what you have you have already learned. So what normally happen? The nucleophile comes in, attack the carbon, this carbon. Okay, the C double bond O ni, carbon ini. Then the nucleophile will be added. The nucleophile will be added. Then what happens next? Okay, oxygen will become negative. Why it become negative? Because from this double bond, the electron will be given back to this oxygen. So now the oxygen is having one extra electron. So once that happen, the negative, it will take the positive ion from the nucleophile, normally a hydrogen. So in the end, it will, once it take or it donates that electron to this hydrogen, you will end up with a new compound. So in this case, an alcohol. Okay, for example, this is an alcohol plus nucleophile. There is no elimination happening. But for carboxylic acid, okay, in this next slide, so the carbonyl group of carboxylic acids and their derivative undergo nucleophilic addition elimination. Okay, nucleophilic addition elimination reaction. This is only for carbonyl group of carboxylic acid. Okay, so this is known as the acyl compound. Okay, you have acyl carbon over here, C double bond O. That carbon is the acyl carbon, and the acyl group is this RCO. Okay, yang warna biru ni, this is known as the RCO. Okay, the nucleophile reacts at the carbonyl group to form a tetrahedral intermediate. So this step is the same, sama macam yang ini. Nucleophile attack carbon, but the only difference is for this nucleophile, the positive side is still bonded to the nucleophile, unlike nucleophilic addition reaction. In this case, the nucleophile is already negative. Okay, so once this happen, the tetrahedral intermediate eliminates as a leaving group. So you tengok kat sini ada satu warna hijau, L. So this is known as the leaving group, which we call as the elimination part or the elimination reaction. Okay, so now this intermediate, the nucleophile, is positively charged. Okay, kenapa positively charged? Because the hydrogen is still here. Hydrogen ni is still here. The difference dengan nucleophilic addition reaction saja, this hydrogen will be given to this oxygen, so that nothing leave, tak ada yang kena eliminate. But in this case, it wants to retain the C double bond O. Dia still nak jadi carbonyl. It wants to retain the C double bond O. So what happened? One of these group that is bonded to the carbon must be eliminated. Okay, it will leave. So among these two, between R and L, there must be one considered as a leaving group. Okay, sama macam nucleophilic substitution reaction, ada yang leaving kan, yang keluar. So leaving group. So what happens next is this hydrogen yang dekat sini will be shifted to this leaving group. Okay, so now dia jadi plus. Instead of nucleophile ni positively charged, now the L is positively charged. So once it is positively charged, this carbon, okay, will give the electron between this bond to this L plus so that it can leave. So bila dia bagi elektron, yang ini dia jadi HL lah, neutral. Okay, now this carbon, dia dah share elektron dengan, dia dah bagi elektron tu dekat L, dia pula kurang satu elektron. So what happened? This oxygen which is negatively charged tadi, they share balik elektron dengan carbon. Thus it will retain the C double bond O formation. Okay, dia tak macam yang ini, in which that the H plus is bonded to the oxygen over here. Okay, but for this, the H plus, H ni akan pergi kepada leaving group. So hence you have this another acyl compound plus HL. Okay, so nucleophilic addition. So this is the addition part and this is the elimination. Okay, look at the arrow. These are reversible. These reactions are reversible. These reactions are reversible. Only the last part, which is the elimination part, is not reversible. So to undergo addition elimination, the acyl compound must have a good leaving group. So yang L ni tadi, it must be a good leaving group. So apa yang good leaving group? Or a group that can be converted into a good leaving group. So acid chlorides react with the loss of chloride ion, for example this one, Cl. Anhydride reacts with the loss of carboxylate ion, anhydride. If you have C double bond O and then another oxygen, C double bond O, so carboxylate ion. Okay. Esters, carboxylic acid and amide generally react with loss of the leaving group, alcohol. So esters will lose alcohol, carboxylic acid, water, and amide, the leaving group will be amine respectively. Okay, these leaving group are generated by protonation of the acid compound. Okay, but for aldehydes and ketone, it cannot react by this mechanism because they lack a good leaving group. Sebab dia tak ada leaving group. There are only carbon or hydrogen attached to a ketone or an aldehyde. Okay, hence you cannot have nucleophilic addition elimination reaction in aldehyde or ketone. Okay, they only have nucleophilic addition reactions. Okay, this reaction rarely occur or never occur at all. Okay, so relative reactivity of the acid compounds. So yang paling reactive is acid chloride because this Cl or this chlorine, bila dia jadi leaving group, it will become Cl minus, which is stable. Okay, the chloride ion is stable, so no problem for it. Then acid anhydride, so yang green color ni, this is the leaving group. Okay, esters, amide, and for normal carboxylic acid, it will go out as water. Yang ini dia akan jadi alcohol, this one amine. Okay, in general, reactivity can be related to the ability of the leaving group to depart. So leaving group ability is inversely related to basicity. Chloride is weakest base and best leaving group. So if it's a strong base, then it is not the best leaving group. So amine, strongest base but worst leaving group. Okay, yang ini amine, strongest base but worst leaving group. Yang ini pun alkoxy considered strong base but also considered as weak leaving group. As a general rule, less reactive acid compounds can be synthesized from more reactive one. So what does it mean? That if you want to prepare, let's say amide, you can use acyl chloride as your starting material. Then you can go to this amide. It's easier to go from acyl chloride to acid hydride to ester and amide. Then instead of daripada amide, you nak jadikan dia acyl chloride. So that will be harder because this one have lower reactivity compared to the product that you want. So normally we start from higher reactivity punya compound, then we go downwards. Okay, synthesis acid derivative. Okay, this is the last part. There are 4 acid derivative that you have to know: acid chloride, esters, and acid anhydride, and the last one is amide. Okay, to synthesize acid chloride, okay, the structure is you replace the OH with Cl group with halogen. So acid chloride are made from carboxylic acid by reaction with either thioneal chloride, phosphorus trichloride, or phosphorus pentachloride. So this reagent works as they will convert the hydroxyl group of the carboxylic acid into an excellent leaving group. Okay, there are 3 reagents in which you can use: thioneal chloride, phosphorus trichloride, and also phosphorus pentachloride. But you will end up with different byproduct. All will have the acid chloride that you want. Okay, the first you will form acid chloride and sulfur dioxide, NaCl. Okay, if you use PCl3, the reaction will be slightly different, in which that the starting material is 3 moles. Okay, 3 moles of your carboxylic acid plus 1 PCl3, then only you will form 3 moles of your product, and also phosphorus acid. This is phosphorus acid. Then if you are using phosphorus pentachloride, this is 1:1 ratio, and it will form your product plus phosphoryl chloride. Okay, this is phosphoryl chloride, and also HCl. This is the mechanism. If you are using thioneal, okay, first yang ini, the first example. If you are using thioneal chloride as your reagent, so these are how the products are formed. So basically this is the same like in the general mechanism in slide number berapa tadi? Number 22, like in this one. Okay, what happened is this electron from the oxygen, daripada OH ni, will go and attack this sulfur. Dia pergi terus kat sulfur kat sini. Okay, and it will attach to this oxygen. So this oxygen will be positively charged. Okay, then what will happen next is this chlorine from one of the thioneal chloride, kat sini dia dah remove, it become Cl minus. It will go and attack this carbon directly. It will attack this carbon directly. So now we have RCO, Cl, and also oxygen over here, which is positively charged. So what happens next is the elimination. So starting from here until here, this is the addition reaction. Now from this to the end is the elimination reaction. So this carbon over here will try its best to retain the C double bond O. Okay, so the electron from this oxygen will be shared back with this carbon, sebab ni negative. It will be shared back with this carbon, so C double bond O. And this carbon, dia dah dapat electron daripada oxygen ni, now it has extra electron, so it give everything to this oxygen. Dia bagi satu electron kepada oxygen ni, because this is positively charged. So now you have this acid chloride, which is your compound, plus this intermediate structure will further dissociate to become HCl and sulfur dioxide. Okay. The second derivative is carboxylic acid anhydride. Okay, so but the synthesis, I think there are two ways in which acid anhydride can be synthesized. So the first one is by using a mixture of carboxylic acid and also acid chloride. So you mix. You don't use both carboxylic acid. You have one carboxylic acid and also one acid chloride of the product that you want. So you kena tahu what kind of acid anhydrides that you want to form so that you can plan earlier on what starting material that you need to use. Okay, because these are depends on the chain length. Okay, it can be alkyl, CH3, or it can be 10 carbon, 5 carbon, or it can be in aryl group like benzene. Okay, and this method is used if you want to form mixed or symmetrical anhydride. Okay, symmetrical if these two are the same, or unsymmetrical. So it is necessary to use a base such as pyridine. Okay, this pyridine, if you still remember, in heterocyclic, 6-membered heterocyclic compound, pyridine is a good base. Okay, ingat lagi tak? This is a good base. So this pyridine will be used in the synthesis, then only you will get your acid anhydride. Another way is by having sodium carboxylate. Okay, this is carboxylate salts of sodium react with acid chloride. Okay, this is your acid chloride to form your acid anhydride plus sodium chloride. Okay, and the third one is if your starting material is a dicarboxylic acid. Only if you have dicarboxylic acid, then you can just use heat. Okay, no need to use other chemicals or anything. Okay, you can just use heat. Okay, for example, this one, cyclic anhydrides with 5 or 6 membered rings can be synthesized by heating the appropriate diacid. Okay, like for example, this one, succinic acid, it will form succinic anhydride, okay, at 300 degrees Celsius, so very quite hot. And or phthalic acid, it will form into phthalic anhydride. Okay, these two, if you still remember, used in the synthesis of polynuclear aromatic hydrocarbon. Okay, in the Haber synthesis. Then for ester, also known as Fischer esterification. Okay, ini saya rasa pada form 5 kot you dah belajar how to form an ester. So the reaction is catalyzed by an acid, normally a strong acid like sulfuric acid, KH2SO4. That is the most common acid used in a esterification reaction, in which you have your carboxylic acid react with alcohol, okay, to form an ester. So ester formation is also favored by removal of water. So one molecule of water will be removed. That means the OH will come from your carboxylic acid. The hydrogen part will come from your alcohol. Okay, and the naming over here, if you take a look, okay, the blue one or from the carboxylic acid part will go at the end, sebelah belakang. Okay, from the alcohol part will be put in front. Like this one, ethyl, 2 carbon, and then 2 carbon also for this one, ethyl acetate or ethyl ethanoate. This one is methyl, there's only 1 carbon for the alcohol part, and this is benzoic acid, so it becomes benzoate, methyl benzoate. And the last reaction, which is amide. Okay, to synthesize an amide, normally we have acid chloride as the starting material. So this is your acid chloride. Hence, if you have carboxylic acid, it must be converted into an acid chloride first using those three reagents, okay, thionyl chloride, PCl3 or PCl5. Then only you can synthesize amide. It will be mixed together with either ammonia, primary or secondary amines. Okay, ammonia, which is NH3, primary amines NH2R, and secondary amine NHR2. Okay, then it will react with acid chloride to form amides. So an excess of amine is added to neutralize the HCl formed in the reaction. So here is the mechanism. Like this one, this is a secondary amine, okay, NHR2. So kat sini ada R prime and R double prime to show that the R could be different. Okay, it could be one could be CH3 and the other one can be CH2 CH3. So this amine will attack the carbon over here. Okay, this is the nucleophilic addition elimination reaction, same. Okay, so this is the addition part, you terus add, and the elimination will be the chlorine will be eliminated. Then what happened is just some rearrangement in which this hydrogen will be removed and given to this ACl, okay, to ACl. So amide from carboxylic acid and also ammonium carboxylates. So carboxylic acid, if you still want to use carboxylic acid as the starting material, you can still react it with ammonia to form this ammonium carboxylate ion. But then what happened is this ammonium salt of carboxylic acid will be heated or dehydrated at very high temperature. So like this one. Okay, just panaskan saja. First you mix with ammonia, for example, okay, to form this ammonium carboxylate, then heating, just by heating. But as said over here, this is generally a poor method of amide synthesis, as the product form or the yield form is very low, okay, and also not advisable as the heat involved is very high, so you need a lot of energy and also not quite as safe lah, because sebab you akan panaskan chemical sampai suhu yang sangat tinggi, instead of using this method which is just mixing and you will get your product straight away. Okay, so a good way to synthesize an amide is to convert a carboxylic acid to an acid chloride, and then to react the acid chloride with ammonia or an amine. Okay, so that is all for the